in India, a consultant of UNFPA, Prashanti Tiwara, has asked that immunity be waived as to Diego Palacios, who she accuses of sexual harassment. Given statements that, and I was trying to figure out yesterday whether this "we don't cite immunity" statement by the UN only applies to peacekeeper sexual abuse or to sexual harassment alleged in this context. Is immunity going to be waived in this case, and if not, why not?
I will, hold on a second, let me see. I need better glasses. I don't have the details of the case with me, but what I can tell you is that sexual abuse is a crime, and immunity is not there to protect people who commit crimes.
Right.
And immunity, so it's not even a question that needs to be asked. A clarification during yesterday's briefing in response to a question about the immunity of UN Population Fund staff in India, I stated the general UN principle about immunity of its staff around the world. However, in the particular case in India, I'd like to clarify that UNFPA India has already responded to the Ministry of External Affairs, and that immunity of UN staff can be waived only by the UN Secretary General. UNFPA has also informed the ministry that although the claimant has never been employed by UNFPA, she is welcome to make her claim of misconduct to UNFPA's Office of Audit Investigation, which will investigate the matter. The facilities for filing a claim with the office are publicly available on UNFPA's website. I will get to you. Today is Mother Language Day. The theme this year is Linguistic Diversity and Multilingualism Count for Sustainable Development. The theme stresses that local languages, especially minority and indigenous, transmit cultures, values, and traditional knowledge, and thus play a key role in promoting sustainable future. A few facts for you. 43% of the estimated 6,000 languages spoken around the world are endangered. Every 2 weeks, one of the world's languages disappears. And today at 5 p.m. in Conference Room 4, there'll be an event to mark the day, organized by the Permanent Mission of Bangladesh. And lots of thanks today to our friends in Bhutan, Micronesia, Montenegro, and Romania, who have paid their regular budget dues in full, and we are most grateful. I don't even have the number, so I'll have to take your word for it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thanks a lot. Because yesterday I'd received, after you'd said that they hadn't cited immunity, UNFPA wrote back to the Ministry, the Foreign Affairs Ministry of India, and said they're not waiving it. The Secretary General has not waived it. So I just want to be, I guess I want to, one, it's unfortunate because the complainant here has actually now filed criminal charges in India based on what you'd said about no immunity. But why is the Secretary General, given his statements about the importance of this issue?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to go into the details of the case. What is important, and I think to remember, this case does not involve allegations of sexual abuse, sexual harassment. It is for a different, it's a different issue. So it does not involve the issues that we discussed yesterday.
Well, and that's not what the complainant says.
Well, but I'm saying that's
Mr.
okay. So I will leave it at that.
I also wanted to ask you about Justin Forsyth. It's emerged that the then head of Save the Children left that organization under the cloud of what he admitted to be inappropriate text messages, et cetera. Somehow he then became the deputy executive director of UNICEF. And so what I'm wondering is, I've seen some accounts that UNICEF is now belatedly looking into it. What review did UNICEF do in hiring Mr. Forsyth at the time, and what now does Antonio Guterres, at the head of the system, intend to do about this public?
Obviously, I think as UNICEF said very clearly, they were not aware of any of the complaints against Justin Forsyth at the time of his recruitment, and they're continuing to work with him currently and his previous employer, Save the Children, to get a better understanding of the facts. And I would also like to make clear from my colleagues at UNICEF, there have been no such complaints concerning Mr. Forsyth at UNICEF.
Given the centrality of the UN in this sort of aid world, does the UN believe that Save the Children should have said what the reason for leaving was, so that people don't just keep getting kicked down the line as appears
Look,
to have happened in the
again,
Oxfam case?
I think as a man, I'm not talking about this specific case because I don't have the. I just want to state as a matter of principle. Obviously, if people have been accused or have been reported having committed these types of actions, it needs to be known. I can't speak for Save the Children about what they knew at the time when Mr. Forsyth was recruited. That's a question. That's a question for them. Tanzania, go ahead.
You had said yesterday that you were unaware of this killing of the university student and the subsequent calling in of opposition parties and sort of blaming them for what. And I guess I just wanted to know, there are many groups in Tanzania that are saying things are getting increasingly repressive. What is the UN's position on this?
I don't have any language on Tanzania at this point. Okay, Mr. Varma, it's you.